bit of a slow match that suddenly heated up towards the end. My advice was going to be, if you're bringing a Tinker setup, make sure you use all 100 points, but you can just kill Punisher.
Yeah. It was looking like Darkseid was going to lose with that 1 point until right at the end.
There was, 40 seconds left, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, a Punisher that's been shot for 10 minutes just dies.
I feel like that match encapsulates EVE Online in a lot of ways. You think really hard about something, and then you wait a really long time, and then something super exciting happens unexpectedly.
Yes.
That was super exciting.
Yes, and
That was the best climax we could have ever hoped for in a tournament match.
it was right.
Killing the Punisher.
Yes.
Well, it's very similar actually to the end of the Neo, where it was like the snap kill in overtime.
Yes.
But this is can't do it in overtime here. You have to do it before because we don't give you sudden death in overtime anymore. But yeah, that was like we were all kind of lulled into this like, oh well, time's gonna run out. Darkseid's out. And
Wait, they're chasing. They're they're moving. It's
But
ridiculous.
to be fair to Darkness of Despair, they will have another chance.
yes,
They will.
They're just into the elimination.
Yeah. Although we could have had Darkseid down in that elimination thing, which would have been a little bit crazy.
Probably no more surprising than the fact that Hun went there so fast.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Knocked down there by Darkseid.
I feel like the sheer rage, though,
Yeah.
that comes with Darkseid in the losers bracket would have been a lot more severe.
Yeah. No, but I mean, all joking aside, you can't leave 1 point open if you run this setup.
No,
Like
they
no one
almost-
will be doing that tomorrow, or they will be fairly dumb.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, there are fairly dumb teams.
No,
Like,
no,
when
you're right. I don't think
Yeah.
that's smart at all.
When
Like
you're running a Tinker setup like that, you need to have a way to beat it.
Yes.
And
But I guess they had what they had. They didn't think that it would happen because we just watched it the previous match. Is it hot in there, guys?
But yeah, it's like a Tinker versus Tinker is one of those things that comes down to a lot of little strategies, but you need a way to do it. You need either the
Yes.
newts or the gems. Like Exodus's Tinker team had a way to beat other Tinkers.
I'm curious about Darkseid's strategy from sort of the start of this match towards
Yes.
the end, because something that comes up as a result of this format being elimination focused rather than points focused is that this sort of situation where you grab a couple points near the end of a match and get a tiny lead that lets you win seems like it could apply to a lot of situations. We haven't seen a lot of that. A lot of people like holding back until the very end. You know, these hyper damage focused cruiser teams even. Like, if you can avoid them for an entire match and then swoop in for one kill at the very end, like, I don't think it'll happen a lot, but it is interesting. I'm curious if Darkseid intended to do this or if
Yes.
they got
Good question.
lucky. Like,
Yeah, it's like against a hyper damage cruiser team, if you can avoid them, you can usually also kill them.
sure.
But in this case,
I mean,
this
I'm
is
not
one
saying
of
that's
those
the
rare
best
cases
example.
where
I'm
you
just
can,
saying, like, this is something you could do. Like, if you're able to stall, and that somehow opens up this kind of opportunity, like, maybe that's worth it. I
But
guess
it's
you
also
could-
super
yeah.
risky because if they hadn't killed that Punisher,
Yeah.
Yeah.
they
I
would
think
have
we'd
lost.
I think we'd have to go back to a replay to see actually what
Yes.
unfolded there because it was so quick.
Was it a last second all in? Was it just poking around, getting lucky?
Did somehow they get
They
a nude
dived-
off? I mean,
They dived in. Yeah,
I don't even know if they got new range. All I know is micro warp drives were turned on, and then as Shadu would say, mistakes were made.
Yeah, I think probably, I don't know, my guess would be they dropped higher damage drones when they got closer. They dropped guards instead of curators or something.
We did see some guards on the camera, but I couldn't remember which team the guards were for
Yeah.
at the beginning. But
Yeah.
or
It
maybe
could have
that they
also
actually the
been-
guards were in fall off range and they brought them in and got them into
Sure.
optimal. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a couple things that could have changed it. Just, it was quick, so we didn't catch exactly what it was that broke. I mean, they'd obviously come really close to breaking that ship
Yeah.
earlier in the match as well.
Yes,
They just
yes.
weren't quite able to make it happen, so could have been something very small.
Next, we have one of the favorites.
Yeah.
Hydra
The
Reloaded.
favorite.
The favorite, even.
The favorites.
All right,
No
ahead
question about it.
of Verge and PL and all
Road
these things.
Capel beat Verge, and they're bad.
Well, Road Capel suddenly looked really good as well. They did look really good.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah.
Hydra as well. Is this going to be like a very one-sided stomping of Ministry?
Ministry, I like them a lot. They've been good so far. They were good in some like practice mock tournament we did. So I think they're definitely above average, but they're not Hydra good.
Yeah.
I think I agree with these guys. I do think Hydra is the odds-on favorite to win this. Maybe not by as big of a margin as these guys think it is, but I do think they're probably the most likely.
If Duncan brings the 3 Myrmidon, 3 Prophecy, 3 Brutix setup that I gave him, Cake.
Cake. All right.
Cake.
I'm sure
As
this
you know-
game does whatever you say.
Myrmidon teams for
But I'm
Hydra
sure
have
that was a
ended
real
so
setup
well
I
in the
just had.
past.
Yeah. I'd really love to get the bands out here because I kind of want to see what's going on
Yeah.
with this next match. It's going to be delayed by just a few minutes. You know,
And if
fashionably
only
late.
we let you ban alts of a certain person. Garmin alts, done.
Yes.
We talked
Where'd all
about
the
that
skill
originally.
points go?
Originally, when we were talking about banning, we talked about pilot bans.
Yes.
Yeah,
Can
that
you
would be
imagine?
bad.
That would be horrible.
It would be
Yeah.
horrible. It's a
Horrible.
terrible idea, but it would be funny, kind of.
It's funny in an evil way. It's like, hey guy, you spent all this time preparing for the tournament. You're super
don't get to
excited
play
about
in
it.
it.
Yep, sideline.
So kind of like you guys did with me this year.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, we did
Except-
that. We did that to you.
Yeah, except that you know, you volunteered and went through a whole admissions process and
that's
then
right.
flew out to Iceland.
I was just
and-
so sad I couldn't fly too during the first weekend. It's one of my favorite things in the world is flying in the tournament, and that's why you should subscribe to EVE Online.
Yeah, tournament is a lot of
Because he
fun.
likes the
I definitely do miss
Well, I
flying
mean,
the
a lot
Alliance
of people
tournament.
like
I
the
can't do it
Alliance
now
tournament.
either because
Yeah.
you know I work here.
Yeah.
So. But I'm not going to complain about that because that's also something that I applied for.
You're making me feel really bad for making a joke.
All right. Well, I'm quite looking forward to this. This will be a great end to our next. Sorry, this will be a great end to the day, and we do have some stats just before we jump over. This is Hydra versus the Ministry of Inappropriate Footwork.
Yeah, MIF beat the Godfathers, who were solid.
Mhm.
Kill with Fire, which weren't bad. And then Hydra defeating Solar Fleet and End of Life. MIF's competitors have actually been better, but we just kind of know
Absolutely.
that Hydra's better.
Yes,
because they're
yes.
Hydra.
Hydra have beat some unextraordinary teams, but that doesn't really matter because they're just pretty great. So
Hydra with actually more pilots.
yeah. Wow.
Maybe like 3 of which are subscribed.
Maybe they're doing another recruitment like scam campaign in Providence or something.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, that is pretty exciting. I believe that we are almost ready here, and there we have the Duncan Tanner of Hydra Reloaded. Has he been the captain for years now?
Nope, since his first year. It's usually Garmin, but the official response that I got was Garmin wanted to be able to troll on the forums, and he
All
couldn't
right.
do that as team captain. So Duncan. is
I'm
the
calling
team.
shenanigans on that. He trolled pretty hard in previous years.
That was the official response that I got.
Is this going to change anything for Hydra?
No, Garmin's
No.
still there.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
and
It's-
Duncan knows his stuff with the tournament.
It's a collaborative effort.
Yeah.
It's
Mm.
not, you know,
like
I'm
it
in
could have been
charge.
hard SP captain too, and I
Yeah.
would have said again, no
Yeah.
major difference. It's,
I don't know
Yeah.
if this is true. My impression is that Duncan is maybe a stronger theory crafter and Garmin is maybe a stronger FC.
Garmin has the best battle cry.
Yes.
Yes,
That is
definitely.
Try to be
Yeah.
serious for
Unequivocal.
1
Well,
second.
1 second, and yeah. All right. Well, I mean, we'll see how it turns out. They're obviously whoever's leading there is still a great team.
I
so.
think that they both have their own individual flares in
Mm.
different places that don't, like, they overlap a lot.
Mm.
Yeah. Sure.
I think that Duncan is the more level-headed type of guy, whereas Garmin is the more inspirational and makes you afraid of him type of guy.
With his battle cry.
Yes.
Is he the yelly type of FC?
Yes.
Yes. Normally it's in a sardonic way, so it's not too bad. But when he does get angry at you, it's like your mother. You're being scorned by your mother.
Ugh, that's so good.
He yells
And I
a lot.
love my mother.
Yes.
So.
All right. So, what have we seen from these? Actually, you know what? Let's just go watch what they have. Who do you think's going to win?
I'm going to go with Hydra.
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 I think I'll go with Hydra as well. I think they might actually win the entire tournament as well. So let's find out.